Yes. All right. So let's just pick up where we left.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how we are connecting while not seeing,
Yeah.
while we haven't seen each other, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's always like, I guess for the lack of term, it's like the Filipino connection,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
And no, because I when I started a part-time,
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that to you.
Mm-hmm.
I started a part-time, just local, in a local store
Yeah.
over here. And it always amuses me when a Filipino comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause
Yeah.
yeah, cause like you're busy working, and then they
Yeah.
they just like stop you for a little bit and they ask you, "Are you Filipino?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am Filipino."
Yes.
And then
Yes.
we talk in Tagalog. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's always, it's nice to see someone,
Yeah.
not really, I mean, it doesn't have to
No.
be your family or your relative.
No.
It's just
Right. Right.
it's just
Instant. That
yeah,
instant click.
instant connection.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
sometimes you don't have them with everybody, It's just general.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Um, because on the streets, when I walk here to when I go to work or groceries or anything,
Yeah.
whenever I see a Filipino or whenever I think he or
Yeah.
her, he or she is a Filipino,
Yeah.
then we just eye contact, and then
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
sometimes people just doubt it because you 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 can't see I'm not Filipino. I'm not fully Filipino. I'm not fully Belgian, right? Sometimes people just doubt it, but they easily some easily know because they're looking at my eyes, the form of my
Yeah.
eyes, and then they say, "Oh yes, she is," and then we
Yeah.
start to click, and then that's. I always get excited when I see another Filipino. I didn't know why, but it's like it's just ignites a spark,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true. I don't know. It's also like something special about
yeah,
Filipinos that
yeah,
happens. It's, I wouldn't say it's normal, but yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
happens.
You know what I mean, right?
Yes, that's true. It's
uh,
always nice
yeah,
to be on the positive end of
yeah,
that, because there's
right,
like, we shouldn't ignore
yeah,
that there's also a negative side to it.
yes,
If you haven't experienced it, well and good. But there are some Filipinos. I vacationed with my family.
yeah,
Um, a few years back,
yeah,
we had the privilege to go to Paris because my
yes,
niece my niece had
yes,
like a scholarship there.
yeah, yeah,
We visited her, and we all had to go home
yeah,
after.
yeah.
Yeah, there's also some
Mhm.
Filipinos who, when they see you, they're like, "Nah, no
Yeah,
thanks."
yeah, yeah,
Yes, right?
yes,
And then the bad side of it also is they pretend they're not Filipino. There's
yeah,
also that. Yes, we tend to do that.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was so funny because we were kind of lost, and then we kind of saw like someone who looked
yeah,
Filipino. You
yeah,
knew he
yeah,
was
yeah,
Filipino.
yeah, yeah,
And then all of a sudden he starts speaking French to us, and we were like, okay, never mind. You don't want to help us? Fine. We'll find some other person who can
yeah,
speak English or
yeah,
Filipino.
yeah,
Yeah, but that that to me is, of course, it's just a
yeah,
little portion.
yeah,
But generally, Filipinos are very,
yeah,
very helpful
yeah,
around the
right,
world.
right. They
So
are. Yeah, they are. So, I was, I told you about my book events in the Philippines, right?
yes.
And I kind of was
How
like,
did it go? You haven't
it,
you haven't put it in detail to me. Just little parts of it. So
I'll
let's
just get
let's
into it
talk
briefly
about
now,
it.
and I'll just get back to
Yeah.
it at you later. It was kind of nice, but I was way too nervous, as Gretchen always is. But I think it was kind of cute.
No, that's good then. That's good.
I think I got the feedback that they enjoyed, and as soon as the Q&A was there, it was easier. They
Yeah.
can ask a lot of questions, so which gave me a great impression. But then one of those questions was my mother. I saw
Mm-hmm.
her raising her head. I was like, oh no, what is she gonna ask me? And she asked me if there were no blocks, if you had to really choose, which
Yeah.
country would you prefer, Belgium or Philippines? And
Oh.
I said right away,
Wow.
Philippines, of course. Because I can't explain the feeling that I get straight away when I drop off the
Yeah.
plane. I immediately get that sense I'm accepting. I have that vibe going over me, and I feel like myself. It's like a complete metamorphosis, right? I
Just
don't know
like your
if
photo over there.
yeah,
Yeah, right?
it's like I become complete different somebody else.
Yeah.
And the first time I went through that, I I didn't recognize myself. And when I get back, I understand now how my Filipino friends,
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean, friends of my mom's feel malungkot. They feel sad when they
Yeah.
return.
Yeah.
And I always question, like, what is it about the Philippines that makes them feel that way? And
Mm-hmm.
now I am going through that myself. Uh, But late March, it became better because I have found a balance between being
Yeah.
Belgian and Filipino.
Yeah.
It's a good balance, but I'm still working on it to, completely accept it, you know, because like they say, external factors don't matter. It's how you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
And I also think like now I would stay in Belgium because the health is better, economic is better, and I figured out that it's better to water my garden here.
Yeah.
And the most important garden you can have is the internal garden. And
True.
when you feel at home within yourself, when you fully embrace yourself,
Yep.
what you need, uh, what your needs are, what everything is, what makes you click,
Yeah.
then you're gonna feel the same way every where else, right?
Yeah. True. True. That's
Then it
true.
doesn't matter. And I feel like I'm always almost there, you know. Um, and I also think to myself like, would I have the same opportunities now living here
Yeah.
and going on those trips to El Nido, to Bohol, to those
Yeah.
different places, Cebu? Would I have the same if I were born there? I don't think so. And besides that, I also feel like I have a mission to, to tell my story and just make people aware that they should not forget where they come from.
True.
And we just need to keep on spreading how unique and valuable our culture and values is, and it would be a shame to lose it,
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
so now, how about you? How do you feel?
Well, if I was asked that question, no, to tell you frankly, it's kind of it's probably going to be a different point of view from
Yeah,
someone who came from the Philippines and
yeah,
living somewhere
yeah.
else, right?
But still, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when I came
Mm-hmm.
here not for a job. I came here for love.
Yeah,
For my pandemic sweetheart.
yeah,
But
yeah.
on hindsight, when
Mm-hmm.
I visited back very quickly,
Yeah.
last year when my niece got married,
Yeah.
and everyone was asking me. They were so surprised because
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to just take a vacation here and then go back to the Philippines. That's the initial.
Ah,
Sorry, I forgot to mention that to you,
no,
but
it's okay. It's okay.
that's the initial story. I was
Yeah.
supposed to just visit my then boyfriend
Yeah.
and go back to the Philippines. But of course, with pandemic, it's so hard to
Mm-hmm.
travel. Of course, the plane ticket is also
Mm-hmm.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say he did not want me to leave
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Anyway, long story short, so everyone, of course,
Yeah.
the family and the very close
Yeah.
friends, they were
Yeah.
like, you left everything and
Mm-hmm.
just moved. So, what's your decision now? Are you gonna
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
longer?
Yeah. Of
Are you
course.
gonna come
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
And I just think of it as like God's sign
Yeah.
for me because I know a good part of our culture is that you're with your family,
Yeah. Yeah.
your family takes care of you,
Yeah.
whatever happens. I guess I was that in that phase of my life now where
Yeah.
God's saying that my dear
Mm-hmm.
child, you're supposed to know how to take care of yourself. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, to
Yes.
be independent as well. So
Correct. Yeah.
I think there's also that part of
Mm-hmm.
Filipinos who leave the country and go abroad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just for them to work, it's
Yeah.
for them to also know themselves better.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Of course, there will be some Filipinos who think that, finances are
Mm-hmm.
better, but at the same time, if you
Yeah.
compute it,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah. Yeah. I
it's
get what you
not
mean.
really it's not really a good balance of, you
Right.
know, give and
Right.
take. But of course, that's probably like a
Mm-hmm.
different type of story. But
Yeah.
anyway, for me, I would answer the question. I will try to do my
Mm-hmm.
best to stay here and try to
Yeah.
visit the Philippines because I agree with you. Like there are opportunities in a different
Mm-hmm.
country that will not be given to you in the Philippines.
Right.
You're very correct there. And
Yeah.
it's true. You're supposed to, really see or do your best to
Mm-hmm.
find yourself first
Mm-hmm.
and prosper on your own.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, share
Yes.
with
Mm.
everyone where you came from, what it's all about. That's
Yeah.
never forgetting. That's also
Yep.
a good
Mm-hmm.
thing to do.
Yeah.
Because admit it or not, some people who lived their and almost their
Mm-hmm.
entire lives
Yeah.
in a different country,
Mm-hmm.
who started out being pure
Yeah.
Filipino and then
Yeah.
raising their children
Yeah.
non-Filipino
Yes.
anymore.
Yes. 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 It's a
That's
shame,
very
right?
sad. That's
Yeah.
very, very sad. So yeah, I agree with you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
visiting the Philippines is a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe retiring in the Philippines could be a good thing, right?
Yeah. Who
But
knows?
yeah, just never forgetting that you're
Mm-hmm.
Filipino. That to me
Yeah,
is
I
good
think
enough.
that's the I think that's the main goal, my main goal,
Yes.
to spread it
Yeah.
because I really feel that connection, and you can try to suppress it, you can try to deny it, but it comes up anyway. It's too
Exactly.
strong.
Exactly. And I mean, to me, not that I'm,
Mhm.
saying that other cultures are not too
Yeah,
cultured, but
yeah,
the Filipino culture is really just so it's
diverse.
very diverse. It has so many parts and
Yeah,
bits to it that you
yeah,
cannot just say it is not a beautiful
no,
thing, right?
no,
I mean, they can
yeah,
they can all say that it just came from the people who conquered the country. I
yeah,
don't care. It's still
no,
like an amazing mix of so many different things that
no,
it's not it can never be replicated by any other
no,
country or any other culture. So,
yeah. But
yeah.
why do you think the reason is that, for example, when people move to other countries,
Yeah.
they prefer that country above the Philippines. Why do you think that is?
Traffic.
Yeah,
I'm just
for
kidding.
you, it's
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
no, it's
No,
okay.
well, I think the it's probably like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying directly, but
Yeah,
I am saying it. Living in the Philippines is a little more chaotic maybe for some
yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Living in a different country, I'm not saying it's less chaotic, but
Yeah.
maybe depending on where they live. Like for
Mm-hmm.
me, for instance, for
Mm-hmm.
me as an example, I lived in Manila,
Yeah.
specifically Quezon City, the biggest city in
Yeah.
Metro Manila.
Yeah.
So there's so much hustle and bustle, and then now I live here where we're a
Mm-hmm.
little town called Melville in
Yeah.
Saskatchewan, probably the coldest place
Mm-hmm.
I could ever stay at. But anyway, you know the life cycle here
Mm-hmm.
is a little slower,
Yeah.
which is, sometimes it gets boring, fine, but living from a very busy city to somewhere where I
Yeah.
can just chill,
Mm-hmm.
and it's less people to interact with. people
Yes.
people that I don't necessarily want to interact with too much, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's also a thing. I think that it's a good thing that these days people really attend to the
Mm-hmm.
level of stress that they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And I guess at this stage in my life, I already was filled with stress to the brim
Mm-hmm.
that getting this type of lifestyle now is a lot more, I in terms of my health, I guess
Yeah.
it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like I'm excluding family and very close friends. That's not to
No, no.
me to me, of course, like lifestyle is more
Mm-hmm.
like related to work for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I tend to be a workaholic. I tend to
Mm.
be,
Yeah.
a little bit OCD. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
even diagnosed with OCD, but I have that type of personality.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the stress is a little bit
Yeah.
high.
I understand.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So living in a different country, and I wouldn't say it's the same for other Filipinos, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be similar, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it also it doesn't help. No, it actually
Mm-hmm.
also helps in terms of like the money that you make
Yeah. Yeah.
in a
Being
different
like a provider
country.
for your family and for your children,
Yeah.
because I know some people just leave their children and go abroad to provide for a better future for them, and
Yeah.
I think if I feel really it's a big sacrifice
It
what they
is
are
a very big
doing. they would
sacrifice.
they would take any job, you know,
Exactly.
just to
Exactly.
be around. And um sometimes I just feel like they say they take things, they say yes too quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, in how do I explain? They say yes too quickly to certain you know, payments,
Yeah.
loans. They say yes too quickly, because sometimes I just feel they deserve so much better, but they are already grateful for what
Yeah.
they are given. And I think
Yeah.
that's, it has a negative and a positive side, you know, because being
Mm,
grateful
true.
would attract more blessings
Yeah, that is true.
in time.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's also okay to be a little bit more, you know, hesitant, to not
Mm-hmm.
accept immediately, just to wait
Yeah.
and see if something comes better, you know, around the corner sometimes,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do agree with that. But some people who do leave the country tend to, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to say yes to everything
Yeah.
because it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Filipinos have that mentality where it's like, better now than never.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes you miss out on what should have been a
Mm-hmm.
better opportunity than
Mm-hmm.
what was presented to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, you're like, at least I have something and not
Yes.
nothing. That's
Yes.
also a
Right.
true factor that you
Mm-hmm.
can look at. So yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. Filipinos, there are some Filipinos who leave the country who are like professionals there
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Philippines, and then they go to a different country and they're
Mm-hmm.
they're doing whatever
Yeah.
menial job.
Yeah.
So I mean, I I don't look at it that badly
No.
because
No. Me as well.
to
Yeah.
me, money is money.
Yeah.
If it
Right.
rolls in, if it
Yeah.
helps you live day to
Right.
day,
Then it's
that
fine.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's actually funny to me that in other countries,
Mm-hmm.
jobs that are like manual labor
Yeah.
is paid so much more.
Yeah. Right.
And it's sad in the Philippines when you have that type of job,
Yeah.
you barely have minimum pay.
Yeah.
I don't know currently,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
always been that way. So
Yeah. Correct.
it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah. Well, I think this has been a very enlightening conversation. Very interesting
Yeah,
conversation.
there's I told you there's so many
Yeah, there's so
things
much
that
to touch
about the
on.
Philippines and
Yeah.
Filipinos that we can always get to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. We just keep talking, but I think we'll just close up from here a little bit. It was
Yeah.
very much enlightening. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, sometimes we just have to respect that that
Yeah,
spark. Sometimes we just have
true.
to remind ourselves about this, and yeah, it's very nice. I'm just gonna click here.